Here we go. Back
We're back
again.
again.
Let's get into these first round games and brackets and all that fun stuff. Dom, how we feeling?
Same as always, shitty.
Fair enough. All right.
No,
You
I
want to
mean,
start on?
let's just get into
Let's
why
get
I'm
into it.
feeling shitty.
Fair enough. Is that the game you want to start with?
No, I want to start with death taxes in Houston playing at 425.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, we'll start on the AFC side there. The Chargers going down to Houston. Kind of talked about this already. Houston just
Yeah.
banged up and just everything's been wrong this year.
See,
I
not
feel
only
like.
that, CJ Stroud has played significantly worse. It's not like just one
Mhm.
sophomore slump, like your typical. It's like the worst sophomore slump we've seen from a quarterback in a while who has excelled in their rookie seasons. So
Yeah, it's almost like you
I,
shouldn't tell rookies how to, go about their lives in the NFL when you're 6 months older than them or something like that.
yeah, fair enough.
But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So it's kind of seeing that kind of transpire, and not only has CJ Stroud not been playing up to par, he's also going up against top three defense in the NFL right now.
Mm.
Mixing those, your only positive is that you're at home, but newsflash, you're in a dome, so now you have Justin Herbert in a dome, and who has been playing on fire these last
Yeah,
5 weeks, and J.K. Dobbins is back fully healthy. What that
yeah,
means for that offense
yeah.
is that at least they can potentially establish a run game, which will be good. So I think mixing all of that together, it's gonna be the Chargers by a little bit, I feel.
I think this game could get weird and just be like oddly close for no reason, really.
Maybe.
But I think the Chargers win no matter what on
I
this
do.
one.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I don't have to think about that one too hard. All right, let's just go down. Let's get into hate.
Yeah, I don't really. The hate weeks turn into I hate myself.
I hate this so much. I really, really do. I mean,
To be fair, I didn't want this matchup either. I
yeah,
wanted, if we were going to get this matchup, I wanted it to be next week. I think it would have been more ideal for both of us. Just kind of get the jitters out
yeah.
and then play each other full speed ahead, healthy. But that's not what happened
Hmm.
because Pittsburgh doesn't know how to actually beat Cincinnati apparently when they needed to, and they should have won that game. Again,
It's true.
I dig-
Yeah, I
I
mean,
digress.
this is more of again, the floor on this is I jump out of my bedroom window
Literally, that's the floor.
after this game. Actually, no, I'll be at work for it. So it will be, am I wrapping my car around a telephone pole on the way home? Or do I feel good about round two matchup after that? Like if they
Yeah.
handle this game, handle their business, I feel very, very good about this Ravens team. If
So
it's
I feel
ugly, I am immediately scared. Like if
so I
Lamar
feel
plays well, I feel good no matter what. If Lamar doesn't, then I'm like, well, here we go again.
well. To put your mind at ease, this game's going to go one of two ways, and it's factual. Baltimore runs away, boat races the Steelers, and it's
Hmm.
not a close game. Or, thanks, thumbs up. Or it's a very close game, and the Steelers tend to win in those close games against Baltimore.
All right.
So
Yeah.
if it's close,
Again, if the
you won't
Steelers
have
can
to
get
worry about next week.
no, sorry, not the Steelers. The Ravens can get to 20, we're fine.
Probably.
Again, it's the race to 18 again. It stresses me out. I don't love it. I have Baltimore in this game.
So do I. To be
Yeah,
fair, that's my feelings, and I still have Baltimore in this game.
yeah,
Because
but
the Steelers haven't given me anything to believe in the last 4 weeks, so I'm not going to lean that way for that reason.
yeah. Um, so let's go down to Buffalo, Denver. Again, should be pretty quick on this one. Again, congrats, Denver. You're a great
You made
story.
it. Yeah.
Happy for you.
You ran into Josh Allen at home in cold Buffalo. It's
Yeah,
not going to be pretty. I
yeah.
don't care how good
They
of a
are gonna
defense you have.
box your ears in a little bit there. Like it might be close for the first half, but the dam's gonna break at some point,
Yeah.
and that's just again that if Buffalo takes that game, I'm not even too concerned about that. All right, let's jump over to the NFC
The
side here.
NFC side. Yep.
We're gonna save one game for last there, so let's start with Philly Green Bay.
I have Philly in this game. It's a rematch of second game of the year down in Brazil. I think this being at home in Philly, and on top of that, you're fully healthy with Jalen Hurts coming back this week, hopefully.
Mhm.
AJ Brown's already been said that he's going to play. I think a lot's going in their direction. And then Green Bay, you just lost Christian Watson for not only this season, but probably next season for the most part. And then, again, their defense has been kind of all over the place all year. I called them literally Swiss cheese. So mixing that together, high power offense to go with that, I think that's kind of where that's going to be.
Right.
This could be a close game. I don't necessarily think it will be a close game.
No, I think Green Bay could kind of keep up for a little while there, but at some point in time, Eagles will just be able to take the air out of the ball with Saquon and just eat up a bunch of time. More than
Yeah,
anything
which is
there.
like unfair that you have Saquon playing at an insane level, and
Yeah,
all he has to do is just give him the ball, and the game kind of pushes from there.
right. All right, let's go to Washington, Tampa. I'm curious where you land on this one.
I have the Commanders.
So do I.
I mean, so they did play each other very early on this season. They played,
Mhm.
and the Commanders were still kind of getting their legs underneath them. It's the same thing with like when Tampa beat Philly. Same situation. Philly was still kind of getting their legs underneath them for the start of the season. And I think the Commanders team that we saw in, what was that, week 5 to compared to now playoffs, it's a completely different team.
Yeah.
And like I said, their offense has been hot. It reminds me a lot of Green Bay's offense to end the year last year. Everything was going well for them, and that continued into the playoffs. If they can do that, I think that they can kind of bully this Tampa Bay team a little bit. And plus, you're going to be in warmer weather this weekend. It'll be beneficial. So if Jaden Daniels can keep it up, keep playing at the level he's been, that bodes very well for this team.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think this is more of a who has the ball last kind of thing. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. This game
I hope so.
Screams like 38-35 all over it to me, and I just like Washington in that.
I think they've proven already that they are a very capable team that can put up those points and play with almost anybody in the NFL, which is scary. And if their defense continues to figure it out, which they have been, that's kind of why I said in our last episode they're going to make a run. They're the team I could see making a random run.
That's fair. All right, and then last game on that side, Rams hosting Minnesota in Phoenix,
Arizona.
Officially.
Yeah, officially. I have the Rams.
So do I. I got the Rams in this one too.
I think it's going to be a close game. I do. But I
think it is going to be close. These two teams played already. Rams did beat them. I want to point out too that not even just because of the preseason stuff, but I would have liked the Rams against either one of the Vikings or the Lions.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because I feel like losing that Week 18 game and going, you have 1 seed or 5 seed, like that whole thing. I think that's just really deflating.
I see. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So
it's hard to build that back up again. Now,
100%. Yeah.
Vikings did get rolled. They might be a little pissed off. However, I don't think that's necessarily going to matter.
I think it's gonna. I think again, it's gonna be a high-scoring game. You're gonna have two teams that
I think
know
the
how to
opposite. Actually, I think this is going to be a lower scoring, grittier game.
Interesting.
And I trust the Rams' run game more than I trust the Vikings. Like Aaron Jones, but
sure.
But I trust Kyren Williams more. Let's just call it what it is.
He's the better of the two.
Yeah, so I trust that a little bit more. And again, I think the Vikings defense is going to be a little pissed off, giving up 4 touchdowns to Gibbs, so they're going to play well. But I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, like a 20-17 game.
Yeah. I think it's definitely possible. I also want to point out we didn't have one difference.
No, we were completely aligned on all of that.
Probably not going to be the case for round 2.
Not the rest of the way. So we'll just go through it since we're still the same here. That's how we feel about the first round games. And we'll just finish out the brackets here. So we would get
KC Chargers.
Yep.
I'd have KC.
I do too. Yeah. And then a hypothetical game. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers did win that game.
I wouldn't be either,
just because it's tough to beat somebody 3 times in a year.
but yeah.
But it's Kansas City, and they make their own rules at this point.
All
So
right,
then
and
we
then
would have Baltimore going to
Buffalo.
Buffalo. In our hypotheticals here,
I have Buffalo.
I have Baltimore.
I knew you would just because you're a homer.
No, I saw it already. I saw this game happen.
Yeah, and I've seen the Steelers beat Baltimore already. So
Yeah, but they played
it's
twice, and then you saw them lose to them. So you know what both
sure,
sides of that feels like.
sure, but the Steelers have also beat Baltimore 8 of the last 10 times they've played each other.
Yeah.
And
Well, how about that? How do you
well,
feel about
also
that
though,
one?
in the history in the
How's this
history
feel?
of the playoffs, that feels fine. In the history of the playoffs, they've won Pittsburgh's 3-1 against Baltimore in the playoffs, something like that. So
And they're going to be 3-2.
that's your
So there
hope.
we go. Man, I was just there. But anyway, yeah. Now I again, we talked about this in the last one. You pissed me off with that, and I got mad about the Ravens again.
Yeah.
In
I
every single
think I
thing.
think a
But
lot of this is going to come down to one, it's going to be weather. What's that looking like? Two, what MVP shows up more?
that's fair. But that's
I'm
also
leaning
like when
on
you say weather, I would root more for shittier weather.
exactly. Oh, wait, you for
I would,
Lamar?
yeah, I would
Interesting.
honestly, I would lean on that because Derrick Henry is better than James Cook.
Yeah,
And then, honestly, let's call it a wash on Lamar and Josh Allen.
sure,
Running abilities,
sure.
everything like that. No, okay, even still.
I'm not saying running ability. I'm saying playing in that condition, which
That's
Josh
fair.
Allen has proven he can do well, very well.
That's fair. But again, I would lean the Ravens in worse weather because that even still, like what the part of the defense that has been good all year long has been the run game and that front seven.
Yeah,
So like shit weather actually plays into the Ravens' hand more, I feel.
certainly. If that is the case, I can't predict next week's weather.
Fair
I
enough.
can't even predict weather here,
Yeah,
and it
true.
tells me what
I'm
the
just
weather is going to be,
again,
and then it
if you're
snows every day.
we got hung up on that because you brought up the weather part of it there, and there's that.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
it's just
different on that. That's our first game different.
and I knew we were going to be different because I bet you lean Baltimore this entire way, and there's another game that we're probably going to be
Oh, this
different
entire way.
here.
That's where we're going with this. All right, fair enough. Moving on.
We'll see.
All right,
Detroit,
on the opposite side.
Washington.
Yeah,
I have Detroit,
yeah.
and then this is the next game that we're going to differ. Rams, Philly. I have Philly.
I have the Rams.
I know you do, and I guess I have Philly. If you're going to use the argument, Baltimore, Buffalo, we've seen this. I've literally seen this.
That's
Rams
fair.
going to Philly across the country on what's actually going to be a short week for them.
Yes. No,
I've
I
seen
will
this
say that
exact thing.
that's the game that I don't have any other justification for other than I take Sean McVay, Matt Stafford over Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni 8
Sure,
days a week.
sure. However, they already lost to them this year
They
badly,
did. They did.
very badly. And historically, I'm a Rams fan. Historically, when they faced Philly in Philly, they lose. Historically, it's not like, well, they might win. They've won. They lose almost every time. And it's McVay. It's not like it's been a different coach. It's not Jeff Fisher. It's been McVay in that situation, losing in Philly every single time.
Game's got to break at some point.
That's what you think, but history tends to repeat itself.
Yeah, and Stafford and McVay are the last ones to win a Super Bowl, not named Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Sure.
So there's the history that I'm expecting to repeat itself.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Fair enough. All right. So let's go to the championship games here. So you have KC and Buffalo.
Baltimore.
I have KC
I have
Baltimore.
KC Buff. Okay.
Who do you have winning that game?
I have Buffalo.
I have Kansas City winning.
Oh, wow. He let it go.
I'm not that much of a homer.
No, but I think what we're both doing here is leaning into
Preseason
our
predictions.
preseason predictions.
Hey, guess what? They're available, and I got money tied up in mine. So like, I'm
I have no
manifesting.
money tied up, but I'm still leaning into mine, and mine is a high chance of happening. So is yours. It's
Yeah.
reasonable. So
Right.
my other game then is Philly Detroit. I have Detroit. You have Rams Detroit, and I assume you have
Rams
the
over
Rams.
Detroit. Yeah.
So you have the Rams the entire way. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah,
We'll
yours
see.
is looking about the same thing there. Again, I'm sure you have. Oh, what did you have on your preseason one there? Did you have the
Let's
Lions end up
see.
winning that one?
I had Buffalo beating
You had
Detroit in the Super
Buffalo
Bowl.
beating Detroit. I couldn't remember. I knew you had Buffalo Detroit there, but yeah, obviously I have the Rams over Kansas City.
Yeah,
Yeah. Again,
completely fair.
honestly, I think throughout the entire way, Kansas City is the best matchup for the Rams, weirdly enough,
Yeah,
because of Cooper Cup and Puka. I think
yeah.
that tandem is
They
like
put some
that's the type
pressure
of
in there.
team that can give Kansas City fits on defense.
I think theoretically, then if you're gonna do that, Philly could do that too.
Philly could do that.
I
Philly
think that's
could.
it.
I just don't trust
That's
Jalen
kind of
Hurts
where
throwing
the
the
line
football.
draws.
I don't trust Hurts throwing the football the same way I do Matt Stafford.
Stafford.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
fair.
a legit quarterback, like a firmly top 10 guy, or like really talented quarterback combined with two receivers is a really bad matchup for Kansas City, much like I think the Bengals would have been. I think the
Yeah,
Chiefs still would have won just because the defense is so bad, but at least in terms of like teams that can move the ball on the Chiefs and give them fits, that's the type of team.
yeah. I'm not doubting that, but yeah. So I have Buffalo, Detroit, Buffalo winning. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
fair
where
enough.
we
That's fun.
lie here.
Yeah,
And I think we'll circle back to this week in and week out, just kind of see
for
where
sure.
we're right, where we're wrong.
Yeah. And then speaking of circling back, we get college football games here going on.
Yes,
Right there.
you were perfect. Well, not perfect. You still
Not
have your
perfect.
top four.
I got the no, I don't have the
Oh,
top four
Notre
either.
Dame. Notre Dame
Notre Dame screwed us
messed
both.
everybody up.
Yeah, that was the only side of that I got wrong there. I had Indiana over Notre Dame. That obviously didn't happen. And then I had Georgia beating
Oh,
Indiana,
that's
which
right. We
obviously didn't
both
end up
had.
happening. Yeah,
Both had.
we both had Indiana. So that
Yes.
corner, yeah, that corner of my bracket went to
Got
shit,
dominated.
but I'm
Which is
perfect
fine.
everywhere else.
Okay.
Perfect
Yeah, I
everywhere
mean,
else.
I still have my final two in, so we'll see.
Yeah, so do
Texas,
I.
I'm a little bit more concerned with, but
Yeah.
we'll
Now
see.
again, so we got Penn State and Notre Dame going on right now. I think this is going to
Great
be a fun
notes.
game because I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
the same
defense
team.
heavy.
It's the same team, and I think it comes down to Aller and Riley Leonard.
So I'll
Who's
say
going to make
this:
the play?
it's
Riley
probably
Leonard with
Aller.
his feet, or Aller making a big throw at something?
I think it'll be Aller.
Hmm.
Here is my thing. I have never been a Penn State fan. I don't think I'll ever be a bigger Penn State
You're
fan
still being
than
gentle about it. You're not just not a Penn State fan. You are bred to hate anything that Penn State
actually.
is about.
To be fair, I never really cared about Penn State. There was never a rivalry. I wasn't born into that. It was dead by the time I was born. And by the
That's
time I
fair.
realized
Yeah, but
what it
it's the
was,
same
Pitt was
state
Big
thing. It's the
East.
two biggest schools really in the state. You know.
Sure, yeah, but I wasn't bred to hate Penn State. I was bred to hate Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame with a passion. And
I think if you're not a
every
Notre Dame
non,
fan, you hate Notre Dame.
and I'll say this, every non Notre Dame fan should be rooting against Notre Dame right now. Because how they are allowed to do this is a travesty. If they make the college football championship, their entire college university gets $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
If any other team makes it, for example, Ohio State, if Ohio State makes it, they get 1.1 million.
They
The
have to
rest of
share it
that
with the
money
rest of
is
the
split
conference.
up with the Big Ten. Why is it still okay for Notre Dame not to be in a conference when every other team is? Because with that, Notre Dame is in the ACC in basketball. So let's push them to be in a pick one, dude. Just
And they get
pick a conference,
total control over their schedule.
which is terrible. There's no question marks that it's fairly simple every single
No.
year.
And they
They don't
play
really
the. I
have big
heard because
matchups.
somebody else brought this up, and Notre Dame basically played the sympathy card of like, well, the fact that we're independent is like the only way we can actually make money for our entire athletic department and all this shit and blah blah blah. I don't
Shut up,
care.
dude.
I don't care. It's like,
You're
oh yeah,
choosing this.
our donors spend more because we're independent, and it's. I don't care. I don't care. Go join a
Join
conference like everybody else.
join a
Go
conference.
join the ACC. Join the ACC for all I care.
You would dominate the ACC. If you would have been in the ACC this year, you would have easily won, played in the conference championship, beat SMU. It wouldn't have been close. SMU wouldn't have made it, and Bama would have been in. It would have been way different. But you are what is titled as a bitch, and that's about it. I'll never get over my hate for Notre Dame in my life. I will root against any team before. I will root for any team before I root for Notre Dame.
No,
Give
100%.
me
I'm with you on
North
that.
Dakota State. I'm rooting for North Dakota
I'm
State.
very sorry, Kyle Hamilton, but at least they produced one good thing.
Great players can come out of Notre Dame. Sure. Just fuck that school.
And maybe
That's it.
a top 5 funniest player of all time, Golden Tate, did come out of Notre Dame as well.
Yeah.
Just a cartoon that he was.
Give us great. They gave us good NFL players.
Yes.
Just them as a.
With that being said,
I want them to die.
With that being said, how do you feel about this game?
I'm rooting for Penn State. I think Penn State has a chance to win. I think they're the better team. They have the slightly better offense, and they have more of the stars on defense that you look for.
Yeah, no, I think this game is
more
about
that matters.
Well, not only that, I just think this is a big game for James Franklin more than anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, okay, can you finally get over the hump and have like that win? Because he hasn't had that. They beat Ohio State once, and it was also kind of fluky. But yeah, he needs it more than Penn State needs it.
100%.
Let's put it that way. And then on the other side, we got Texas, Ohio State.
This is the game. Yeah. This might be the game of the entire season. I wish this was a national championship game.
This one feels like it probably is. Let's just be real.
I think you probably have the two best teams in the country playing tomorrow.
At least the ones left.
Obviously. But I think Texas is the more
of a wild card.
Complete. I think they're more of a complete team. That's what I was looking for.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I think it just quarterback play is what you're really like. That's the wild card.
I'll give Quinn this. He's been more consistent within the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He was not the reason Arizona State was close in that game. That it wasn't him. He played very well in that game. Yeah. And he's played very well throughout this playoff. He's going to play tomorrow. It's definitely going to be his toughest matchup against Ohio State in that defense. However, I think that he's still going to be the better quarterback in that game.
I'm hoping so, honestly, because I don't even want a Penn State-Ohio State national championship.
I don't want that.
I feel like this one.
I know how that goes.
Again, I said this going into this anyway, but I feel like this one could be the one that you see Arch come in because
I think it depends. If you get out and you fall, sure.
That's what I'm saying. That because Ohio State is such a good first quarter team, and I was listening to Joel Klatt talk about it too, and he even brought it up. He was just like, the way for Texas to win this is survive the first quarter. If you go down 14-3 after the first quarter, you might be dead in the water and almost forced to put Arch Manning in at that point. I do think Arch Manning is talented enough to just play with house money at that point.
Yeah.
But
I think
this is a really tough game. It's going to be. It's either Ohio State wins big or Texas wins close.
Sure, yeah.
This is one of those that this could be a really, really fun game to watch where you're turning it off midway through the second quarter.
So, Matt Miller said, I think it was yesterday, he has 21 players in this game in his top 100. 21.
Yeah. No, both these teams are absolutely loaded.
Just insane. So what that means is these are day 1 and day 2 guys that you're seeing tomorrow. These are future NFL players that we're watching.
Yep.
We're seeing a good amount with Penn State here, a couple on Notre Dame you might find, but really it's that Texas Ohio State game. You are seeing future NFL players in this one that are just going to go above and beyond. Now I'll say this, and it's not me coming around on him, it is what I'm hearing. And I think if Penn State makes the Natty, I think there is a good chance Drew Arlar does declare. And if he does, there is rumblings that he would be the top overall quarterback in the class, which is
There's a lot
very,
of teams
very
that would like him.
interesting.
Yes, I think again, I think you look at the teams that are 100% taking a quarterback in this class. They're not ready to start competing. They're not like a quarterback away. It's going to be
Yeah.
ugly for a year or two. Like there's a lot of holes. Like you look at it, it's the Giants, it's the Raiders. I don't know if Tennessee. I think Tennessee could go either way, honestly.
Yeah.
Who else is high on the? I mean, Saints have so many holes too. Like
It's like,
none of the teams that
yeah,
desperately need a quarterback are a quarterback away.
yeah.
So
There's
with some of
other
the teams,
things.
yeah, let me look at the draft order again here where I look at.
I can tell you to you right now, it's
Please do.
Tennessee 1, Cleveland 2, Giants 3. That's your top 3. All 3 could use a quarterback.
Yeah. No, I got it here.
Vegas, Patriots 5. Vegas
Patriots
is
are 4,
8.
Jacksonville
Patriots are 4,
5,
that's what I meant. That's
Raiders
5.
6, Jets 7, Panthers 8, Saints 9, Bears 10, San Francisco 11. So with that being
I
said,
know your narrative.
I want him to go to San Francisco so bad.
I don't
So
think
bad. Oh my God. I would love that. You run Purdy out there for a year, you sit for his rookie year. Oh my God. I am all for that one.
I'm so happy you are not a GM in the NFL.
Dude, I'm on that one. Give me that.
Pick.
Hey, nice. There we go. Right when I looked away from it too. No, I think that's the system. I mean, clearly, pretty much anybody can work in Shanahan's system.
Yeah.
To different extents, but now you're giving him a guy that actually has a big arm and when put in the right system is wildly efficient as well and is a big body that can move pretty freaking well too. There's so many traits about him. Again, he's listed at like 6'5", 240.
Even if you put him in this class,
238 is what he's listed at now. By the combine,
he'll be 6'4", 225. That's
even if he's at
6'5".
No, I'm saying he would bulk up.
Sometimes, but
I think he would. I think he would bulk up a little bit. I think he'd come in closer to that 6'5" ish.
What I was saying was
45. I think he could put on 10 pounds by the combine.
Because majority of these things that you see aren't accurate. They add an inch. Weights typically. That's the heaviest they. It's the heaviest they ever are typically. So he's probably going to be lighter. He's probably going to be shorter, which is a big deal as a quarterback.
Fair, but when you look at him, even still, like he's listed to 6'5", and you look at him on the field, you go, "Yeah, I buy 6'5".
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not like Russ being listed at 6 foot and he's really 5'10" and a half.
I guess what I'm saying is, what's your hope for Drew Allar? What do you hope he is?
What do I hope he is?
Yeah, what are you hoping? What quarterback do you hope he is? Who do you compare? There's a quarterback that I think that is his ceiling, which is a great ceiling if he can get there. But he has more work than that quarterback did coming out of college. I think there's one comparison.
Floor and ceiling is a little bit weird on him just because
I'm not saying floor because I think his floor is out of the NFL.
Processing it. But quickly. No, I'm just saying like quickly what he could be and with the traits and everything like that, like because a lot of people's comp is Josh Allen and he's not that
That's
athletic.
Not mine.
He's not that athletic.
There was a guy similar that I think could be his ceiling, his cap.
Well, I'm curious what yours is. I was thinking more along the lines of like a Joe Flacco that moves one hell of a lot better.
Okay. So I guess similar standpoint here, mine would be Herbert. Herbert is your cap. That's your ceiling.
So I think Herbert moves better. I think Herbert does move better.
Herbert moves better. But like I'm saying like height wise, your trait wise, that's what I'm looking at.
I think
Herbert does provide you more, but you kind of have the same idea. You were highly productive in college, still a lot of question marks coming in. Can you be that what we want you to be? Because Herbert was never supposed to be this good. He reached his ceiling.
Yeah, I kind of turned on Herbert by the time the draft started in his class because I was like, I don't know, like it was with him, it was more of the above the shoulders that I was just like, man, he makes a lot of throws that make me go like they work out for him, and I'm like, he just felt really reckless. I don't feel that with Aller. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
I
I
mean,
think
I do.
he's
I just
much. I mean, obviously Herbert
I've always had
very
a
quickly the second he got into the NFL was just like, okay, I will play within the confines of what the system wants. So I get that. I don't hate that one actually.
yeah.
I just
Again, I think it's let me say this: Dollar General Justin Herbert.
maybe a little bit better.
Okay,
Which
Target.
I was gonna say Target
Now,
brand. Target brand feels about right.
Target still might be too good, but we'll call it Target just to easier. Coles.
I think that's a fair. Yeah, he's Cole's Cash Herbert.
That's terrible. That's not good. But
No,
yeah,
yeah, but but
he's
even
like
still, okay. Well, let's take
yeah.
even if you're getting 90% of Herbert, 80 to
That's your ceiling.
90%.
And
Okay,
that's your
take that.
ceiling. You
Take that.
sure. That makes you a top 15 quarterback in the NFL.
You're clearly a franchise guy at that point. But let's now put that in San Francisco on a rookie pay scale where you can keep a lot of that talent that's on that roster. Do you like your chances in either one of those Super Bowls more or less with Drew Aller
Okay.
or Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo?
I don't know how we got to this point. So
You started it,
dumb.
actually. You're the one that brought up Drew Aller draft stuff.
I was just bringing up a small thing that I've been seeing happening, and now we're to instantly Drew Aller, San Francisco. So dumb. How much
I know how
does
much you
that
hate
team
this. I
truly?
know how much you hate this.
Because in my opinion, you're supplementing one for another. You're supplementing a guy who has major question marks coming in. You're gonna you have other holes on this team, so you're gonna draft a quarterback, sit him for a year, and nothing produces out of you when you have other things
I think,
with a
okay,
roster that's
let me
built
be
to win.
clear. I think that's the best scenario for him. Best case
Sure,
scenario
I
where
think
you're going to get every ounce of everything out of him. I think that's the best case scenario
I think
for him specifically.
I just don't think the Niners are gonna be doing that. Period. So I personally I wouldn't even entertain that thought, that wave, but I know you love to. So until there's a reason for me to entertain that, I'm just not.
Fair enough. I could also see I don't like it as much now just because of, well, I don't hate it because of Judy, but like if he went to the Browns, I don't hate that either. I don't hate it.
Sure. Sure.
I
Why
don't
not?
hate it
I don't.
because
It doesn't
yeah,
matter. Sure, you're gonna come into the second most competitive division, and depending on who the Steelers quarterback is, you're still the worst quarterback. It's not fun.
well, if it's
It's
Russ, I'll take my chances with Drew Aller or Rodgers at this point.
I'm not. We're not even talking about that. We're not
Oh,
even
you
talking
know it's
about
gonna
that.
happen.
I don't
It's
want to
gonna
talk about it.
be you're gonna be
But no.
sitting
We're
there
not.
one day.
Not. We're not talking about it. I
I
I
also wouldn't
think
hate him going to the Raiders either, just because everything's gonna be new,
I kind of like that.
and you roll them out and you just go fail. Just it's fine if you're bad. Just figure it
Yeah,
out.
I because it's a good system. It's similar to what he's playing in now at Penn State. You have the best tight end in the
With the
country.
Raiders, they don't have a head coach.
Yeah, but they have a great tight end
No, fair enough.
that they run
I'll
the
give you that.
offense
That
through.
yeah,
So
that is would be big
it's a
too. But
similar setup there. But outside of like actual schematics and whatnot, obviously it's different. But I don't know. I think Vegas would be nice. However, I don't think it's
I'd
gonna
be okay
happen.
with that. Yeah.
Drew Alar needs
Also,
to
if he
take
does
back.
end up declaring,
He would
he might be the most
fuck Penn,
hated person. Oh my God,
he would
Pepsi would hate him for
fuck
that.
Penn State over so bad. It would be great. But yeah, so like that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, Penn State's on that 7 right now. They're about to
I
score,
was just
so
gonna
good
say
for them.
right there. No, overthrew that one.
Overthrow.
He was trying to get a flag on
Looks
that
like
one.
that's the Drew Alar right now. All right, you got anything else?
No, nothing else here. Let's
All
get
right.
out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. You guys
Get through the
enjoy 5
weekend.
straight days of football, and
Hell yeah.
we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Let's get out.
Peace.